Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever find yourself falling down a bottomless rabbit hole of quick, snappy videos, only to realize an hour has vanished? Well, our kids are doing the same thing, and the big question is whether that swipe culture is actually changing how their growing brains handle school and focus. Today we are looking at a fascinating new study out of Switzerland that followed nearly 400 primary school kids to see if these bite-sized videos are helping or hurting them. We are talking about apps like TikTok or YouTube Shorts. They are designed to be fast, addictive, and visually intense. The researchers wanted to know if this constant flicking between clips affects things like the ability to stay on task, school grades, or even signs of ADHD. Think about it like this. When you watch a standard long video, your brain settles into a rhythm. But with short-form content, your brain gets a jump cut every few seconds. The researchers wondered if this constant training and distraction makes it harder for kids to buckle down during class. They tested this by having the kids play special computer games that measured their cognitive control. That is basically a fancy science term for how well you can stop yourself from acting on a whim, and how well you can keep your eye on the prize rather than getting distracted. Beyond the games, the researchers checked the kids' math and reading skills and got parents to fill out detailed surveys about the kids' behavior and how much time they spent on these apps. People often worry that screen time ruins everything, but the data here was quite interesting. On average, these kids were actually pretty moderate, spending only about 8 minutes a day on short-form videos. Most parents were on top of things, keeping a close eye on their screen time habits. So, what did they find? Here is the kicker. Even though the kids were not watching that much, those who used these apps more showed some struggles with reading and tended to be a bit more inattentive or have more trouble with learning in class. However, the study did not find that connection with math performance or with the kids' ability to actually perform in those cognitive control computer games. It seems like the impact was very specific. Now, this is where that p-value concept comes in. Scientists use p-values to see if their result is a real pattern or just a fluke. In this case, the link between video watching and reading problems was clear enough to be considered a real finding, not just a random coincidence. But it is important to remember that these results are a snapshot. We cannot say for sure that the videos themselves caused the reading trouble. It could be that kids who already find reading hard prefer the quick, easy dopamine hit of a video. It is a bit of a chicken or the egg situation. Interestingly, the family background played a huge role here. Kids in families with more educational resources spent less time on these apps. It shows that screen time is not just about the child, but about the whole home environment. The researchers were honest about their limits, too. Since they relied on parents to report the time, some of that info might be off. Sometimes we think we know how much our kids are watching, but we might miss the late night sessions, or the quick check during a ride to school. So, what is the takeaway for us? I think it is less about banning these apps entirely and more about looking at the balance. If you see your kids favoring quick videos over a good book, it might be worth shifting the balance back towards sustained activities that require deep, slow focus. We need more studies to track kids over several years to know if this is a permanent change or just a growing pain of the digital age. Thanks for hanging out with me in the lab today. If you found this as interesting as I did, hit that like button, leave a comment about how you manage screen time in your house, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss an update on the latest science. Keep questioning, and I will see you next time.